Man, like they would bring us to the shows that were very close. So let's say he had a show in Philly. We would all jump in the trucks. At the time, the Land Cruisers were the truth.
What happens when fame turns into a nightmare? 112 is finally breaking their silence on the dark side of working with Diddy. In this shocking reveal, they share how they managed to escape his grip and the torment they endured. You won't believe what they had to say. To understand 112's story, we need to rewind to the early 90s. 4 young men from Atlanta, Georgia, came together to form a vocal group, blending harmonies that would soon make them a hit in the R&B world. They were just teenagers when they joined Bad Boy Records, and Diddy, who was the label's head, quickly recognized their potential. He signed them and helped them reach fame with songs that still resonate today. On the outside, it seemed like the perfect arrangement. They were becoming famous, their records were selling, and they were working with a powerhouse in the music industry. But behind the scenes, things weren't as bright. Diddy's management style was intense, even grueling. Stories from the group paint a picture of a demanding schedule with work that would go late into the night. One member recalled a time Diddy insisted they come to the studio during a snowstorm. It was late at night, and the roads were dangerous, but Diddy wanted them there, pushing through the icy streets, and expected them to comply. This wasn't a one-time event. Either their schedule was often packed, with relentless recording sessions that left little time for rest. For young artists just starting out, these pressures were hard to manage. Many nights, they barely slept, feeling constantly pushed to the edge. And Diddy's expectations weren't just about work hours, he wanted total commitment. This lifestyle quickly became exhausting, but at first they thought it was just part of making it in the music industry. However, as 112 began to rise in popularity, they started to notice a gap between their success and their financial situation. Despite their hits, they were not seeing the wealth they had imagined would come with it. Their bank accounts didn't reflect their chart-topping status. They began to question the contracts they'd signed as teenagers, contracts they hadn't fully understood at the time. It turned out that Diddy and Bad Boy Records held a lot more control over the group's earnings than they'd anticipated. When they dug deeper, they found that most of the profits were flowing to the label, leaving them with very little. It became clear that, although they were the voices behind the music, they weren't reaping the rewards in the way they had hoped. The lack of financial control was made even worse by the fact that 112 did not own the publishing rights to their music. In the music industry, publishing rights are crucial because they determine who makes money from songs in the long term. Without these rights, artists miss out on the royalties that continue long after a song is released. For 112, this meant that even though they were creating music that would become timeless, they weren't able to benefit from it financially in a meaningful way. They'd worked hard, generated hits, and achieved fame, yet struggled to make ends meet. As they started to understand the situation, they couldn't help but feel exploited. Why weren't they profiting from the music they put their hearts into? This feeling of financial torture was part of a broader experience under Diddy's control. While Bad Boy Records promoted them and helped make them stars, it also tightly controlled what they could do with their own music. Diddy's grip over their careers went beyond money. He also held the creative reins. They couldn't make independent decisions about their music, style, or branding. Every move was watched, and every decision was influenced by what would benefit the label. Over time, this took a toll. They wanted more freedom to express themselves and more say in their work, but they were consistently reminded that, legally, they didn't own the rights to what they created. The situation became stifling, and it wasn't long before they realized that this wasn't the kind of success they had dreamed of. At a certain point, 112 had had enough. They decided to leave Bad Boy Records and sought a fresh start with Def Jam. But even this decision came with complications. Leaving Diddy's label didn't mean leaving behind his influence. He still retained control over some of their music rights, which restricted what they could do with their own songs. Moreover, after parting ways with Bad Boy, they faced a new legal issue when lead singer Slim attempted to trademark the group's name. This caused tension within the group and highlighted just how complicated their relationship with Bad Boy was. Even as they tried to move forward, the echoes of their time under Diddy's control lingered. Diddy's management style wasn't something unique to 112. Many artists who worked with him shared similar stories. For example, Mase, another former Bad Boy artist, has spoken publicly about the difficulties he faced while under Diddy's wing. Like 112, Mase described feeling manipulated, pressured into decisions he wasn't comfortable with, and financially stifled. These accounts began to paint a picture of an environment where Diddy's influence was overwhelming, and young artists often felt exploited or controlled. Over time, other bad boy artists, including Danity Kane and the LOX, expressed frustrations that sounded all too familiar. Many of them hinted at similar struggles with financial control and creative restrictions, raising questions about the power dynamics at Bad Boy Records. Interestingly, not long ago, Diddy took the step of returning some music rights to his former artists, including members of 112. While this move was appreciated, it also raised eyebrows. Some wondered if Diddy's decision was motivated by a genuine desire to right past wrongs, or if it was merely a strategic move to improve his public image, especially as more artists began speaking out. For 112 and others, getting back their music rights felt like a bittersweet victory. While it was a step forward, it couldn't erase years of feeling financially strapped and creatively limited. The impact of leaving Diddy's management wasn't just about music rights, it also affected 112 on a personal level. Breaking free allowed them to explore new opportunities, but they also faced the challenge of rebuilding their careers without the support of a major label. They had to navigate the music industry on their own, handling everything from production to promotion, and it wasn't an easy transition. However, with this newfound freedom, they could finally make creative decisions on their terms, an experience that felt liberating despite the struggles. They were no longer bound by someone else's vision and could express themselves without fear of interference. In sharing their story, 112 has contributed to a larger conversation about the rights of artists and the treatment of young musicians in high-pressure environments. Fans reacted with a mix of shock and understanding, as many had suspected that the music industry wasn't as glamorous as it seemed. The group's revelations highlighted a recurring pattern in the industry, where power often tips in favor of the labels, leaving artists feeling trapped. 112's story has also encouraged other artists to reevaluate their contracts and rights, bringing attention to the importance of financial literacy and legal understanding in a field where big dreams can often overshadow practical concerns. The music industry is slowly changing, and the stories of groups like 112 are a big part of that shift. Their experience serves as both a cautionary tale and a source of inspiration. It reminds us that success in entertainment can come at a personal and financial cost, especially if artists aren't fully aware of what they're signing up for. In telling their story, 112 sheds light on an important truth. The music world might look glamorous from the outside, but there's a tough reality behind the scenes that many aspiring artists aren't prepared for. By standing up and speaking out, they are helping to pave the way for a fairer, more transparent industry where artists are respected not just for their talent but for their worth. Through their story, 112 hopes that new artists entering the field will learn from their experience and push for an industry that truly values and supports its talent. In the end, these brave individuals found their way out, proving that no matter how tough the journey, there's always a way to break free and reclaim your power. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our latest updates. Do let us know your thoughts in the comment section. We will see you guys next time.